The haze case. Haze is a pollution problem that seems to affect us year after year. We know it isn't very pleasant and can recognize the burning smell almost immediately. Our throats and noses are affected, and sometimes we end up coughing or having difficulty breathing. The thick smog also clouds and chokes our skies, making it dull and gloomy. But exactly where does this haze come from, and how does it happen? It's time to stop clouding the facts and get some answers. Haze is the result of forest fires burning in neighboring countries. Fires are started by smallholder farmers and brokers committing illegal burning activities because of a need for land. Many residents of Riau depend on forestry activities to make a living. And with over 5 million residents and counting, there is an immense pressure for locals to clear land quickly and inexpensively. As a result, they often resort to illegal burning. The hot and dry season in the region also adds to this fiery issue. This season is brought about by a weather phenomenon called El Niño Southern Oscillation. The dry and hot weather causes fire to spark easily on dry vegetation in forested areas. Sometimes it takes a while for these fires to be noticed, as they are so deep in the forest, and by the time help comes, it cannot be easily put out or contained. But if these fires are started in another country, why does it bother us? This is because smoke from these fires is often carried by southwest monsoon winds into neighboring countries such as Singapore and Malaysia. When the haze crosses from one country to another, it is called transboundary haze pollution. This typically occurs between the months of June and September each year. The intensity, velocity, and direction of the southwest monsoon wind play a big part in determining how far the haze travels and how thick its fumes are. Now, surely something...
Hello again. Economists say the haze crisis in Singapore could cast a pall over the country's economic growth this year. CIMB research estimates that for every day that the haze lingers, more than $60 million in tourism receipts could be at stake.
Our customers are business people, so they come to Singapore to do business, and because regionally it's known that the haze is really affecting our part of the world, so therefore they have actually redirected their travel plans and gone somewhere and hopefully come back later. So we did have some cancellation of about maybe 12% of our occupancy.
Let's talk about a beautiful land called Indonesia. Its vast forests were once inhabited by tigers, orangutans, and birds living in harmony with hundreds of thousands of people. Then slowly, the palm oil, pulp, and paper industries began to cut down the forests with bulldozers and chainsaws. They started building plantations, forcing the wildlife and people to migrate, or worse, stay there at great risk, while the industry made billions of dollars. Palm oil companies began to realize that it would be cheaper and faster to burn the forest than to cut it down, so they started lighting fires. They also drained swamps and peatlands around the forests, turning them into tinderboxes. Pretty soon, the fires became a raging inferno, which went on for many days. In 2015, the forest fires created plumes of toxic smoke so vast that they could be seen from space. Scientists say that 69 million people were exposed to the toxic haze from the wildfires, which have killed over 100,000 people in Indonesia, Singapore, and Malaysia.
Since the 1980s, record after record has been broken, and 2015 was the hottest ever. 15 of the 16 hottest years have been in the 21st century, creating a positive feedback loop driving even more fires. So how to stop the fires? Manage the groundwater level, map your fire risk, engage with the local community. Peat is like a sponge. With a system of zones and dams, one can manage the water level. This is water management. Risk mapping enables us to anticipate fire danger zones. But engaging the communities is the critical part of the Fire Free Village program. FFVP started with 5 strategies: incentives not to burn, fire crew leader, agricultural assistance, community awareness, air monitoring. The program was applied in 2014 and 2015, and it showed the most promising results. The estimated burnt area was reduced by 93%. The extent of the program is still small relative to the size of Indonesia, but the Fire Free Alliance, or the FFA, was launched on the 29th of February 2016 to scale the learnings and collaboration. Long-term goals of FFA are to stop the fires, starting with raise awareness. We need to educate those starting the fires and raise the awareness of its dangers to change their behaviour. Share knowledge. There are alternatives, and by sharing experience and knowledge, more people will prosper and we can stop the fires. On a more technical front, FFA looks at water management to lower the risks of fire. Risk mapping to identify the high fire risk areas and focus patrolling and fire prevention efforts. Training firefighters from local communities to ensure that they have the manpower they need for fire prevention and fire suppression. Firefighters patrol their area twice daily to ensure very fast and efficient fire response. A network of air monitoring devices to be used to alert the population of haze risks. And when the air pollution is high, masks are distributed and medical care is facilitated. Mechanical land clearing is provided when needed to prevent burning by the communities. Assistance and advice to the farmers from experts on which crop is most appropriate and profitable to ensure sustainable practices. And of course, community awareness campaigns to raise the awareness of villagers about the fire and associated risks.